All right, let's get started. This is the Town of Sheldon Board of Abatement. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public meeting will be held at the Town of Sheldon Board of Abatement at 7:30 on January 26th at here 1640 Main Street in Sheldon. Applicants for abatement should appear and be ready to present evidence according to the schedule set forth below. If an applicant or their representative fails to appear at a hearing, their application will be decided on the basis of the information submitted in the abatement request form. The agenda for this evening is we'll do the call to order, we'll do changes and additions to the agenda, and we're going to adopt the rules of procedure. We're going to approve the minutes of the last meeting, and then we will hear the following request for abatement from Anel Power, Angela Dandran, Carl Fort, and Douglas Smith. And then after we hear each one of these individuals' testimony, we will go into deliberative session and have our discussions, and then we will adjourn. And they will be notified in writing, right, within
You said 30 days.
within 30 days, whatever, okay. They'll be notified in writing anyways of our decision for this evening. On the hearings, we need to hear for abatement. We also have Brock Allen with a water bill. He's not gonna be here. I told him that I would discuss it. We can discuss it and make a decision on it.
Is that a board, civil authority question, or is that a?
Well, it's a
select-
water, and this is the same abatement on, if you read this, it's, you abate for real estate, personal property taxes, water charges, and sewer charges, so it's all in our
Okay,
wheelhouse there. So, I'll do the, so that was, I've done the call to order, I've read the hearing notice. Is there any other changes we need to make to the agenda?
I do need to make a change. I, as the new clerk of the board, plan to take minutes, but don't have the last meeting to approve with me.
Okay,
I don't know, I'll track those down.
okay. So we won't worry about that for right now, we can do that later on. So we need to adopt the rules of procedure. Has everybody read these? This is the VLC.
I have a couple comments on the rules of procedure for edits.
Okay.
On number 3, where it says, in addition, at least one of the listers must have personal notes of the hearing. We change that to, in addition, the assessor.
Okay.
On number 4, the quorum, instead of a majority of the listers, it'd be the assessor. Number 5, number 5B, I would strike if applicable and put the following, and then have all hearings in open session shall be audio recorded.
Okay.
With the line of open meeting law. And my last one is on P, the next page at the top, where it says, each applicant requesting a payment will be afforded a insert time period. I'd recommend at least 5 minutes, if not 10, in case they want to appear in person and speak. And that's all I have for recommendations.
You get all those changes, yeah? You get all those changes?
I did.
Okay. Is there anything else that anybody else sees on there that they think should be changed or changes or anything? If not, I guess I would take a motion to accept these, rules of procedure with the, changes that Justin has added.
I make a motion to accept the procedures with the changes.
Okay,
Yeah,
second.
I'll second
Alright, all in favor? Alright. Alright,
To clarify, do we want to do 5 minutes or 10 minutes for insert time period?
I think 5, right?
Yeah,
Okay. You got a good clean copy that I can sign?
I'll make it.
Okay. Well, we have these in front of us for tonight, and then I'll sign that before we adjourn. All right, we'll start right out with, so these hearings, I'm gonna open the hearing stating the name of the applicant, property location, and parcel ID number. And then I'm gonna ask the applicant and any witnesses to take the following oath. And then after they take the oath, request board members to disclose any conflict of interest that they have with the party or the property. And then the applicant will ask the applicant to identify the statutory abatement category the abatement request is being made under, and then allow the applicant to present verbal and documentary evidence supporting the abatement request to the board. And then I'll invite questions from the board after we've heard the presentation, and then we will close the hearing, explain that the board will enter a deliberative session and will issue a written decision within 30 days of the hearing. So we'll do this for each one of them, and then we will go into deliberative session after we've heard everyone's testimony and have a chance to talk about it. Okay, we'll start at the top then. We have an L Power. It's property SLR-0001. It's at 965 Heather Lane, and the property type is a 2.2 megawatt solar field. Is someone here representing? No.
I don't believe there's anyone here representing them, but I believe
Okay.
Justin made the request for.
Yep. So Justin, can you fill us in on why they're appealing?
Yeah, they made a request to change their mailing address last year, and that was not reflected on the 2025 tax bill, therefore they did not receive it. So they reached out asking about it, and the correction to the address has been made, but it was made after the taxes went out and after the bill date.
Okay. So, what are we looking at? There was, okay. So it says the applicant for abatement falls under the following statutory criteria: taxes in which there is or a mistake of the
This one
lister.
we're gonna do as lister error.
Okay. And it's in the amount of
They're already paid on the principal, they're appealing the delinquent penalty and interest because they didn't receive their bill on time.
Okay,
I believe they have not, they've only paid the principal, so if you choose to abate this, then the town's not gonna be sending them a check, it's just.
How much was the interest in
I
penalty?
have it right here, Sue. Interest is $374.55, and the penalty is $1,431.94.
Wow.
But they didn't pay it. That's
Right.
that says it. They just are asking for a waiver. That's the tax amount.
so does anybody else have any other questions on this? Sounds like it was a Maryland address there, taxes have been paid. Okay, we will deliberate on that after. Next one we have is Angela Vandran, property 105-03267. It's at 3267 Route 105, and it's 0.4 acre and mobile home. And that one right here. That,
That's me.
that's you, okay, could you,
She is not here because she's ill, she has a fever.
okay,
And so it's Vanderen, a little shorter, instead of Angela's Ann,
okay,
I'm
sorry.
her mom. And, she has had this property 12 years, has never been late. And she wasn't late paying, however, she has, she got confused with the, her checkbooks. She has the Vermont Federal Credit Union for many years, maybe possibly 12 years or longer. And then she last winter opened an account with East Rise Credit Union. And the money was in East Rise. I don't even think there was $100 in Vermont Federal Credit Union. And she's supposed to do the East Rise and she did the other. So it wasn't intentional, but she gave the check from the wrong amount, from the wrong account, the wrong credit union. And the bank didn't notify, Vermont Federal Credit Union didn't notify that there was even a return check. There was nothing came in the mail, maybe it's an email or something that would have been her, we weren't aware, and I'm sure nothing came in the mail. So, the first we knew of it was the letter from, the town. And she called right away and paid right away, so it's been paid. And I believe the total was about 147, and it would really help to have that returned, because,
Okay.
she's not working.
So the tax bill's been paid, it's just
Yes,
the penalty?
and as stated, there is no history of delinquency or anything.
Right, it wasn't intentional. So she just told me to pass on that she hoped it could be waived, being the first time that it ever occurred and it won't happen again, so.
Yeah.
But new checkbook that East Rise gave was, relatively new, I don't know if they are starter checks or something. But she just went to the checkbook that she was familiar with, that she always pays the water bill with, and,
Okay.
it's just too bad.
Alright, does anybody?
It was a shock.
So,
Does anybody have any questions, or?
That was this is the reducement request. The interest
so
is
159.16.
yeah. Total interest is 1768, and the penalty is 141, and they pay back. So they're asking for reimbursement of that.
Well, the crowd, yeah, the total of the
Yeah,
two.
they cannot.
So it's 159.16.
Okay.
Have to do it. So it was,
Here,
well, it says it right here, it was $17.68 of interest and $141.48.
over 150.
159.16.
Okay.
Oh,
Does anybody have any questions before we deliver it? Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann.
thanks.
And next we have, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but is it Carl?
Carol, he
Carol.
says Carol.
Carl?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but
And the property is FRH-00153. It's 153 Forest Heights. 2 acres and dwelling. So, I'm here for that one.
Can we do me next?
Did what?
Can we do me next?
Which one are you?
Well,
Vanderbilt? Are you supposed to have this corner?
we're gonna,
Am I on the list?
no.
I called.
Oh, I didn't think because you haven't paid your bill, right?
No, but I said I would
Okay,
come because
So no, I was confused that you were.
it's not a problem to pay the bill, I just,
Oh, this is the water and
I
sewer
didn't
bill.
get
Okay.
the bill.
okay.
This is the water and sewer
So-
charges.
Mr. Fort can't be here. He had a medical issue and there's some documentation with his appeal. When he received his tax bill, he had an eye procedure. I don't know if there was a vision issue or just a rehabilitation issue, but he missed his tax deadline, which I think is also unusual on their account history. And so he is paid as well and appealing his penalty and interest for the hardship statute option. He couldn't be here.
Okay.
So how much? Let's see.
So the taxes are paid
2884,
Mhm.
he's thinking
and
230 is paid.
looks like he had some eye surgery or something here. So it amounts to the penalty of $230.72, interest of $28.84. Does anybody have any questions on that one? We can, we'd ask the questions too, so we can go over that one after. All right. Shall we deal with this? We need to add a statement for, this is the water and sewer. Diana Vanderbilt.
So Diana called, I apologize, I was confused that, I didn't realize you did want to be on the agenda. So she called at the end of last week and speak for herself, explained she'd never received the utility bill in the mail, USPS failure.
Okay. So it's been paid?
No,
Okay.
No, I can't, I can give you a check today, post dated for the second.
and do you want to appeal just the penalty and interest, just the water penalty then, the delinquent penalty? It's a 10% penalty on the bill.
That's why I'm here though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably want to clarify right when you're voting.
Okay.
Are there interest charges?
No.
Just penalty.
Yeah.
And how much is that?
I don't have a copy of your bill because.
I have a copy of it.
Okay,
Yeah, I called.
the penalty broken out on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I could print an up-to-date one, or you could add 10%.
It just says 269.50.
So 26.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions?
You didn't get it, the bill in the mail, right?
No, I got the second one. I called as soon as I got it.
Okay. Okay, we will discuss it after and let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Douglas Smith, SWH-01422. That's 1422 Sweet Hollow. 11.5 acres in a dwelling. You fill us in on that one.
Sure, it's very similar to Mr. Ford, where he is appealing interest and penalty only for medical hardship. And his application identifies more clearly a little bit what he was going through.
This looks like he's requesting just the penalty.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is it penalty and interest or just penalty?
Because it keeps, I'm sorry, I don't have his
It's okay. Do you wanna
application
see
right in
this?
front of me.
This
It
is,
says
I wanna
field
look at
penalty.
his application and see what he clicked, what he checked. Yeah, just the penalty. That's what he,
Was he aware that he can do the interest?
that's a good question.
So it's just the penalty there, so
this is just the,
That's all his application says too, I just wanted to verify.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
142.
I mean, you can clarify that with the
Oh,
applicant.
penalty.
And this isn't the correct amount either, it's a little bit off.
So maybe that's the interest added in?
No, this is it right here, the penalty is 142.01, and the interest is 17.75. And so this should be 142.
So I took my numbers from the tax admin module, and Matthew, he made that table in the agenda, and I'm not sure where he got, so I'll verify which number, 137 or 142.
Okay. Are there any other questions on that one?
With this Douglas Smith, is this something, this is again, he's not had any record of trying to abate?
Right.
Okay, last one we have is Rock Allen. It's a water bill. He came down and spoke to Hubert. He had his tenant house, he had a new tenant in it, and she didn't realize the water was running through the toilet. So she didn't call the plumber. He didn't realize the water was running through the toilet until he got his water bill. He went up there and fixed it. Spoke with Hubert and said, you know, what do I do? And Hubert says that we have, you know, fixed water bills in the past for people that have, you know, incidents like that. We've done a few not that long ago. So he called me and asked me what to do, and I said, go down and pay your bill, the normal bill, and then tell him when you pay the bill that you'd like to abate the rest of it. He said he came down and paid Dimitri, and for some reason it didn't get on our agenda Monday night, and I forgot all about it. I had spoke to him, but I forgot all about it. And then he received a late notice or whatever. Then he called me and wasn't happy. But, and I apologize for not
So,
going over it and stuff, but it just
So, and whereabouts is this rental?
heading up to, it's just before his driveway, heading
Up
up.
on-
Okay, so it's just water, it's not sewer?
Just water, yeah.
And what's the flat rate for the water?
$95.
It's 95?
Did it go up? Is it 95 still?
Most places, some are more.
Some, well, depending on the usage.
Right, but it's been a flat rate for a long time,
Then
so,
95.
Yeah.
yeah. So, how much is his bill? How much did he actually end up using?
It's like, let's see, what do we- Each balance is balanced by category.
I can print out a clearer bill if that statement's not good.
Well, just explain it,
I
I,
will see what we got. So, the balance due right now is $322.45.
And that's,
It's $293.14 in bill and $29.31 in penalty. He's paid all $322.45. I don't know how much you would wanna take off, how much is over.
so we're just talking
If
the
you're-
penalty and the interest,
Yeah, I
not the
mean,
extra on the
do you
water?
wanna see like the meter usage? I don't know what standard usage is and how much the leak was and how much you would refund, I don't
I
know
guess-
how you calculate.
I'd like to ask what his normal bill is for that
well,
property.
in the past, for water bills like that, we've looked at their history of water usage.
I can print
And
out a
then
history
kinda just
report.
gone off that basis for that.
So I guess again, are we going to abate the extra water that was used as well as the penalty? Okay.
So I'll print that out. Do you, need me before the deliberative, or you guys? Oh, should I wait, or should I go make that print?
And as long as we have it for when we deliberate.
Okay. So we want a history report, was there anything else?
Diana
Oh, we needed to clarify the
Maybe her.
Douglas too.
Douglas.
It was 137 or 142, Smith, okay. There were two pieces of information that didn't match, remember the table where you were seeing?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Was it Douglas?
Yeah. Okay.
Was there a question about, Diana Vanderbilt's bill? She was just asking, she got a late, she didn't get a notice, and her bill was $269.50, that's what her bill was. Or
I can print her bill out for
probably
you.
print hers out.
Yeah.
Well, her bill was right here, she brought that.
Okay.
Or did she take it back? No, that was the $269.50.
Oh, she did, it's right here.
Show how much,
But that's just the basic charge, right?
No,
That's not the
that's
basic
for the
charge,
extra.
that's the basic charge.
250 something.
Well, that's what I was thinking, there is a flat rate of 250 as well.
That's
So there's a nice,
That's
Yeah.
for the first 9,000 gallons, it's 252, and then you pay for extra over the 9,000.
But hers is water and sewer, right? This is water.
This is water and sewer, yes.
I guess if we could have a bill to
So-
matching, would be nice.
But it's- so, but that, so that ain't, those 269 includes the interest and the penalties.
I'm not sure.
It's like how here.
This is a previous.
Yeah, this is not the full
I
bill.
think a lot of us.
If you could print off Diana Vanderbilt's bill too, that would be
You got
great.
it.
Thank you.
So history report for Rock Allen, verify the amount of the penalty for Douglas Smith, and print Diana Vanderbilt utility bill.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to clarify, is Jane going out to do some research and then she came back and then we're going to do a session?
You don't have to wait for me unless it's one of these three. Is that correct? You have a quorum without me, as far as I understand. So if you want to deliberate the others, well, I get these three, I don't see why not.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll be right back.
So is deliberative session or executive session?
I think so, I don't think those are public.
Right, if it's deliberative, it's not gonna, it shouldn't be on.
Okay. So we will go into deliberative
Do
session.
you need a motion?
You,
Okay.
back up. Okay. All right, so we deliberated the cases that we had before us, and we made our decisions, and she'll send out a written notice within 30 days here. And I think all we need now is a motion to adjourn for the evening.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, get a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
And I get to go.
Okay. This meeting is done for the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, this is Town of Sheldon Selectboard and Water Commissioner regular meeting, Monday, January 26th of 2026. Agenda for this evening, under new business, we got a notice of appeal of the DRB decision. We have a highway department report, administrator's report. We need to sign and approve minutes from January 12th meeting. We've got a warrant 2602 and warrant 226 to sign and approve. We've got fleet permits from R.G. Goslin and Company and Goslin Water Wells. And then under old business, we've got the 2026 municipal budget, the 2026 town meeting warning, procurement policy, and personnel policy. So we'll jump right into the highway department report.
So I'll kind of breeze through it, that's because you guys kind of are pretty late, so. Well, yeah, obviously we've had a few snow and ice events, we've been taking care of those. Our salt, we're in pretty good shape for salt as of right now. We still have a couple more loads that are owed to us from our contract. One thing, we gotta send the 350 to Champlain Equipment. The plow on it won't go down. It goes up and does all the functions, but it won't go down. We changed a few of the modules that we had from the old truck, and nothing would work and it won't go down. So I don't know if it's some kind of electric valve or something that's not working, but that'll probably have to go to Champlain Equipment.
Well, there's a thing in it, you know, the speed it drops.
Yeah, it's I forget what that gets.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It could be that
Maybe.
portion of the plow that's
Okay.
messed up.
We left it in the shop, so everything would all the snow and everything would melt off it, and I plan on going through it again tomorrow before we made a decision to really send it out. But
They know plows.
another big thing is I sent out 15 tires to get recapped, but they're only gonna recap 8 of them because they figure that the other 7 weren't safe to recap anymore.
Yeah.
I looked at Swamp Road with Goodhue. He didn't really give me a number yet. He said he was gonna work on some kind of quote just so we could see what it would cost up there. But talking with Austin Goodhue, there's kind of some brush and stuff up there that if he brought his excavator up and kind of just pulled everything out, we can haul away all the trees or the brush and stuff that comes out of there, and then just bring in like some fill and some bank run gravel until like maybe 2 or 3 feet below like the road level, and then put some good stone in there. I think it'd be good enough, and that's probably the cheapest way to go too. And then after that's all said and done, good, he would probably, or whoever it might be, would have to redirect the current ditch to go around the road. So that might be, there's like a couple culverts and then they'll have to get reset, but they're new culverts, so that won't cost anything other than just the ditching and replacing them.
Is there any place, landowner up there that would take the debris?
The brush and stuff,
We should check on that, maybe somebody could, you know, haul it, you gotta go somewhere with it.
yeah, I know.
See what our options are.
Right, I haven't gone that far. I got a pretty big bank in my house, we can dump him down if it comes down to it, but
No, but you know what I'm saying.
if there's like good wood there, maybe, I'm sure somebody up there would want it, but it's a lot of, little whippets and stuff that I just don't think you wanna bury, cause once it rots out, it's gonna cause holes or sink. We, removed the old tool bench and built a new one, that looks pretty good, and got the top for it and everything, so that's all set to go. Champlain Doors came and did that warranty work on one of the garage doors, and they had to replace 2 panels, but like that, it was warranty, so it didn't cost us anything. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff, but that was pretty much the bigger stuff. The trucks are all in pretty good shape. We've had a few things. We did end up completely changing the bed chain on the 21. It broke for the 3rd time, so we figured it was just worn out in time for a new one. Replaced the cutting edge and blades on the 18's wing. But other than that, the 2015 did have a problem with the exhaust clamp. It completely rotted off. So the exhaust was hanging, and the truck did a regen, and it got so hot it melted a bunch of the wires and air lines underneath. So we had to spend some time and splice wires and the air hoses to get that all back together. We went out to Napa and just got a new clamp. But it's the exhaust itself is starting to rust around that clamp, so we're either gonna have to get a new, it's like a 90 that goes up to feed the muffler, or just get one that drops right down out of it. Either is an option. We've done some stuff to the loader. We got the stickers on it and put a radio in it so we can talk to each other when we're loading the trucks. We bought some new cutting edges and cover plates and the wear parts for the plows. Got an extra set for every truck, and that was including the bed chain. That was around $7,500 for the 3 trucks. It was so it's like $2,500 per truck to be set up for the winter with plow parts, and they last like a year and a half, really, year, depending on how much you're plowing. But I know the wing we changed at the beginning of last winter, so that was a little over a year and a half. But they're wear parts, so they do go. But we are heating the back part of the shop. That heater back there works pretty good. We had to change like the electrical switch on it so it kicks on the blower, but we had one upstairs, so it ended up working out. We didn't need to buy anything to get that going.
Put a loader back there.
Yeah, the loader, backhoe, and grader are all back there, and it stays warm enough. That is another thing I was wondering, is if we can buy those last 2 garage doors. Because we can shut the heat off back there and they can come and do their thing, and then when they leave we can just turn it back on. And I think it would just save a little bit on the heating costs. Those doors don't shut all the way. There's a little bit of a gap underneath them, so there is constant airflow going in back there. But if you guys wanna wait until spring or summer, that's fine too, but.
What do you got the thermostat set at, 40?
It's at the lowest setting goes like 45, but yeah, I have it at the lowest setting, but, it went through one tank, that tank that was full back there, it pretty much, took that down in like a month. So it's not like super tight, but it's not that bad either, cause the one up front, we've had to fill that like once a month as well.
The door would help, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it'd make a huge difference, but I do think it would help, and
You're keeping that that's, fire department.
yeah, the old fire department.
You're keeping that cooler than the other shop.
Yes, yeah. When we're not in the shop, or if, you know, that other shop, we don't keep it much above 50 if we're not in there.
Yeah.
Really, it's like, you know, high 40s a lot of the days, and if we're working in there, we might turn it up to 55 or something, but.
Well, it's 10 degrees, 40 is warm.
Yeah, when you're moving.
Well, you know, the equipment, 40 degrees, that's
Yeah, well, in the back shop, that's not a problem, because we don't really work back there, but.
right. Yeah.
But,
Hydraulics and everything works better when, yeah.
oh yeah, you can tell when it's cold out with the hydraulics, it takes twice as long to pick your plow up when it's cold out like it has been.
Yeah.
But,
Do you have any estimate on the cost of 2 new doors?
yeah, I did get one, I got one a few months ago and it was around 10 grand.
For both?
For both of them. And that was with one new motor, one of the new openers. The guy that came and looked at it said the other one would be okay, but he said one of them was definitely outdated. This other paper, I kinda, this is probably more important for tonight anyway, but, it might be a little bit confusing, cause I started putting it together and then I started running out of time, cause we started getting pretty busy with the weather, but these numbers in the yellow are stuff, first off, they're last year's prices, so it could easily go up, but like the chloride and the brine and the salt, and we're gonna need quite a bit of sand this year. We've been keeping track of what we've been using, and we've definitely been using quite a bit this year. And then I put the roadside mowing in there, but the ones in the blue would be our stone that we bought last year, which depending on what we do for projects and how bad the roads are in the spring, those numbers can come down. But if we were to spend the same amount of money, we would be over budget just with those things, and that's not even with doing any like culverts or anything like that. That's just buying stone and the necessities that we need for winter maintenance. And then Matt had mentioned you guys had talked about possibly like sandblasting the Western Star and repainting the frame on it. So I called TDI just to get an estimate as to what that would be, and that was gonna be between 7 to 10 grand. So I don't know if that would necessarily really be a huge difference for the truck. It would definitely make it look better, but I think a lot of the problems with the truck are more or less like, it doesn't have many problems, but I think stuff that would be a bigger problem than painting it would be like the hydraulics and all that, rather than painting it. The ones in purple are what are already spent. That's how much has already been spent on each truck. And that was the plow parts for the trucks that we needed. And then I just put down the cost for the tires, because like the 18 had a $3,000 budget, and it's already $500 away, and we still gotta get tires for it. If we were to go with that budget that was proposed. We have, including the ones we just sent out, those 8 tires we sent out, we're gonna have 10 new tires. And we're kind of at a point right now where we might have like 6 decent tires after this winter and after the summer falling. So we're gonna be in the market for like another 10 tires. And the low number I have on like the International and the 21, that would be if we can buy tire casings and get them recapped, but they don't always have casings in stock. And then obviously that high number would be for a brand new tire that's, you know, never been used, which I'm not saying we need those, but the recaps aren't always an option. And then just for a number for you guys to look at, and I'm not saying we need a new truck, but to replace that Western Star, I have it at the bottom, is approximately $270,000. And he said that the guy from Viking said, or Charlie Boy said that those trucks are 26 months out to get it set up and going.
Is that the same for the tandems?
No, the tandems are probably, time wise.
Time-wise, no, I know.
Probably time-wise,
Yeah.
probably about that. But he had suggested to me that if the town is thinking about buying a new truck at any point, to call like now and get on the schedule for the outfitter for the plow parts. And it's no cost, it's just kind of saying like, hey, we want to do a truck in 3 years. Can I get on the list? And then, because you can buy a truck pretty much in a year really, but that was his suggestion. So even if you were planning on 5 years, you call him, you know you're gonna be in 5 years and you'll have your truck in 5 years. But I just figured I'd bring that up to you guys, but that was pretty much what I had there for that, but like that it might be a little bit confusing because I didn't make it super clear, but I didn't have a ton of time to work on it.
The numbers in blue for the possible cutbacks.
Yeah, that was the one from Leeches. That was mainly like gravel with a few loads of sand that we got. I don't remember exactly how many we got, but it was probably it was maybe less than 20 loads of sand last year. And then the one from Swan Line, that was obviously all that black stone that we get. So like, depending if we do the swamp road or not, because that would take quite a bit of stone to top that off. Or if the roads are really soft, we might need to go through stone like we have in the past years. But if it's a good dry spring and we don't do that project, we can probably, well, I would bet we could probably spend half of that on stone. But it depends on the year.
Always does. Always does.
And I guess I left this part out, is I just combined, in red, that was the suggested on the suggested budget. I just combined the class 2 and class 3 together, so I wasn't splitting stuff up, because a lot of the stuff gets split half and half. So I just made that one whole number.
The only thing not in there is, well, if we put in the budget for the doors.
For the doors,
Yeah,
for the building up, maintenance was $15,000, I believe.
to put new doors on.
Yeah, I think that was the plan.
I think the budget last year was 15,000, and we did 2 doors last year, and you're gonna do 2 more this year.
Is that what we're gonna do?
We already budgeted for the 2 more doors.
We'd
That's the
already
last
done
2, right? Yeah.
We put it in the budget, 15,000.
Oh, already for this year. Okay.
You just wanna order the doors we've already budgeted for, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
we don't get too much more bitter cold here.
Yeah, I brought them back, so I
Sounds
got
like you're burning a excess of fuel back.
No, I don't think it is.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna save some, and the doors are gonna be nicer when we get them on, but just wait, and make sure the budget
Yeah.
passes, and then line that up.
That's fine, and we have like that, we have the grader parked in one of those doors and the backhoe in the other. And we've used the backhoe, I can think of 2 times this winter, maybe 3, we really haven't used it for much. So that one hasn't, neither of those doors have been used much anyway.
Start it once in a while, just.
Yeah, it actually, I don't know why, but it started leaking oil and we weren't even using it. One of the fittings came loose on a hose and it just, for whatever reason, it just wanted to leak oil again, but we fixed that. But I think that's mostly everything I had for you guys, or the important stuff. I mean, I got other stuff, but I don't think that's not important right now.
No, that sounds good. Look at this stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Henry.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too.
Happy plowing. What's this notice of appeal there?
Okay. I believe that's it. So, again, I spoke with a couple of you, about this, but, right around the time we had the last meeting, we received notice that, one of the decision that the DRB made back in, December, I believe, it was either late November, early December, regarding, the property that Paul Goten has near, it's the last house in Sheldon before, Kingsford Falls on 105. He'd like to, he's applied for a permit for conditional use to, build a self-storage facility on that property. And the DRB held a hearing on it. Again, I think they had two meetings, one in, November, one in December, and they, at the end of that process, they awarded the conditional use permit, for him to go ahead and do that, and, that decision's being appealed to environmental court by his neighbor, Philip and Suzanne Parent, and, the town, since the town, the DRB is on the auspices of the town received notice as well as Mr. Goten about that. I called the town attorney about this. We kind of talked through what the town's options are. The town certainly could file an appearance in this case. It could be an active litigant in the case. He didn't necessarily advise doing that because it's the town needs to decide what its interests are in this proceeding, and a lot of towns would regard this as basically a dispute between neighbors and the town not getting involved. He asked me that I should get in touch with the DRB and find out their thoughts on it in terms of sometimes the DRB wants to would like the town to, kind of vigorously defend its decisions. There's an argument for that as well. So the DRB discussed it at their recent meeting last week, and I believe I left a letter there that they had written for you about that. So I think the DRB is standing by its decision in that case, and I think they've explained their reasoning pretty well. And I think the appeal is based on the appeal that has been filed appears to be arguing that the town should have applied they think that the bylaws should have been applied to consider this use of property as warehousing, which would be, according to our bylaws, is restricted in the rural lands 1 area, which is where it is. The DRB in their letter explained why they did not consider it to be warehousing. Part of this, I think, is that our bylaws don't exactly there's not a specific, the bylaws don't specifically address self-storage as a business. It's not explicitly talked about in the bylaws, but the DRB applied it as they wanted to, and the parents are appealing that decision. So, as my discussions with the attorney, the town, as I said, could do nothing, could wait, if Mr. Gordon wants to, enter, make an appearance and defend his permit. And I have not spoken directly to him, but, the zoning administrator did.
So-
He hadn't made a decision about what he was going to do yet, but I think he was actually his first notice that there was a case going on, and I think he had been in the town.
Does our attorney think that the town needs to be there to environmental court, or no?
I think, he said you could file an appearance and just basically just make it, enter an appearance in court and then just stand there and watch what happens. You don't have to actually do anything. Or the town could decide, if you wanted to spend money on on this, you could do that. He didn't advise that, because, there's not a huge material interest for the town in how this case is decided, really. So if you wanted to go, he said that if the select board wanted to do that, I would have to forward him more information about the case and whether he would do it or the town might need to retain an attorney to do that sort of work. Or, as he said, it would be perfectly acceptable for the town to just treat this as a dispute between neighbors and allow them the court to take sides in that. And one thing I would say is that we're kind of regardless of the outcome of this particular proceeding, if the town wanted to, the planning commission's in the middle of reviewing the bylaws anyway, so if the town wanted to, take action, another thing that would be much cheaper would be to just legislate a change for the future. It wouldn't necessarily change the outcome of the case, but anyway, I just wanted to put that tweet before you. We did receive that notice on I believe the 7th or the 8th, so we would need to make a decision this week about whether we were gonna
I don't know about you guys, but I think
litigate that.
just let the court decide whether, it sounds like the DRB wants to stand behind their decision on what they did, so just let it ride, I think.
Their letter says they feel it warrants the town's attorney, so I don't know, we don't make a decision on that, or that's what the letter says.
What is, Matt, is what you just read to us the response from the attorney as far as advising us what to do?
Yeah.
Not filing something formally in court.
He and I kind of talked through the different reasons why towns would or would not decide to get involved in here. And when we talked about the case, he said, obviously listen, he said, ask your DRB how they're feeling. Sometimes if your DRB may have a very strong opinion about not wanting their decisions to be disregarded or treated lightly, but again, it's the select board's decision to make. I asked the DRB their opinion because it's their decision, but I'm not sure he didn't exactly advise any particular course of action. He kind of said the town needs to evaluate what its interests are in the case. And as far as I see it, I think that the furthest I would want the town to go would be to enter an appearance and then not do it, and then just be there in case something happens in it. But I don't think it's worth doing that either necessarily. I think Mr. Godin's probably going to litigate this, and it would be better if he put the effort into it since he has the most interest in it. The limited interest the town has, besides having its bylaws upheld, is that, it's probably slightly more valuable to the town to have that be a commercial property than what it's being used right now. But that doesn't amount to a whole lot of tax income.
Right.
So
What I'm getting out of this is the DRB made their decision. We don't have bylaws that actually apply to a storage facility, a self-storage, they say. But the DRB looked at it and said they don't consider it a warehouse.
Correct.
So that they approved it and they feel good about their decision.
Yes. Yeah.
The person bringing it to environmental court wasn't happy with the decision, so he's bringing it there. And I think it's up to the applicant to defend his, in the environmental court can look at town bylaws and maybe say it is a warehouse, but that's up to them. They can interpret the way they want to interpret it. Our board interpreted it the way they saw fit, and so I think we just
Right, and that is exactly how they'll consider the case as if the original decision didn't happen, and they're gonna review the law.
So I think we just let the court do their thing, and then whatever the decision is the decision. It's kind of out of our hands, and for us to go down there with representation for what?
Right, yeah.
It's not, they're gonna look at it and make their decision.
Right.
So I don't think we need to stick both feet in there. I think we've already done our due diligence by having the DRB.
Not much more than that letter that you just read there.
Right. The DRB did their job, and the applicant or the defendant or whatever
Right.
isn't happy with the decision, so that's up to him. He can go to the board. I don't think we need to chase him down there.
Do you need a motion?
And spend money. I don't know.
No, I don't think so, no.
We'll just,
Be aware.
Alright,
okay. Let's sign some more to get that over with. We got, this one. I'll read the meeting minutes. This is the Town of Sheldon Selectboard Water Commission regular meeting minutes from January 12th of 2026, held here at the town office at 7:30. In attendance from the select board is Maria Davison, Stephen Dodd, Nicholas Norris, Richard Piazza, and Greg Stebbins. Others here that evening were Brian Derry, Matthew Stebbins, the town administrator, and Jerry Vasey from Northwest Access TV. 7:50, I called the meeting to order and read the agenda. 7:51, Brian Derry asked about a recent meeting with V-Trans regarding Bridge 11 in Sheldon Creek, as well as the brownfield study regarding the Historical Society property. Steve and Matt explained the options available for the bridge project. The board will make a decision by spring. Matt explained the brownfield study results and it stops at the end.
oh. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
what?
sorry, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I think it's supposed to say and, it's supposed to say and, that the, Historical Society and NRPC will be invited to a select board meeting in February to discuss it.
February meeting to discuss. Okay, so Matt explained the brownfield study results, and we will hold a meeting in February to discuss those results with NRPC. 8/19, the board signed 2026 highway mileage certificate and accounts payable payroll warrant. 8/20, I read the minutes from the December 22nd meeting. Nick Norris moved to approve the minutes as read, seconded by Maria, and the motion carried. 8/23, I read the minutes from the January 8th budget meeting. Maria, the motion carried. 8:24, Matt Stebbins delivered the town administrator's report. R.H.R. Smith and Company will perform the annual audit January 20th through the 22nd. At 8:34, the board took up discussion of the 2026 town meeting warning. And 9:19, the board took up discussion of the 2026 municipal budget. Board reviewed changes made at the January 8th meeting. 9:38, Nick moved to table discussion on purchasing and personnel policies to the next meeting, seconded by Maria, and the motion carried. And then at 9:40, Nick moved to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Greg, and the motion carried. Next regular meeting is on Monday, January 26th, here at 7:30. Take a motion to accept these minutes as read.
I'll make a motion.
And a second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? You got anything else for us?
Yeah, so as mentioned in the minutes, the audit was performed, or they were, sorry. R.H.R. Smith was here in-house last week. They was here for 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. They are still working on they're continuing to work on the audit this week, but the goal, stated goal is to have the short report that we had in the town report last year is scheduled to be delivered to us this Friday. So Jane did most of the interacting. Jane and Amanda were here, and they did most of the interacting with them. I think there were some. It was a slightly different process, I think, than we've had in the past. There are some new requirements that auditing firms are required to make by the people that regulate them. So I think we were one of the first towns that they were going through some of these processes with. So Jane has a little bit more detail about that, but we sat down for about 2 hours at the end of Wednesday and kind of went through different areas of, we had, sorry, I should back up to say that about a week before we had a pre-meeting with them talking about things that they wanted us to send them information about, and then after they had been in-house for the day and a half and had gotten most of their information ahead of them, they kind of sat down and pulled some random transactions and asked us about the process for each one, and we went through different areas from new debt to acquisitions of equipment and some other improvements. I remember they asked about the chloride quote and things like that. So and then we also went through when we sold the fire truck this year, so we went through the process of that. So it was sort of a qualitative discussion that we had at the end of that. And, as far as I know, there were only a handful of general ledger edits that needed to be made, and I believe those have already been done. There were some subsequent information that we've sent them so that they can complete their work by Friday. But as far as I know, that's on schedule to be completed on time. And if in the event that there's something happens, I said that the other acceptable alternative is if they could just tell us the date when the audit will be available, so we can publish that in the town report as well. But as far as I know, we'll get the short report for Friday. It'll go into the book for the printer, and then the full 80-page book of audit will be available sometime in April for you guys to one thing that came up as we were doing the audit, and then but I'm not sure. I think so Jane and Amanda had to do a quarterly report for the Beamer's retirement system, and there was an issue there. We had to kind of look through the books a bit, and it appears that in early December, we realized that Hunter had been paying payroll taxes on his Beamer's contribution, so we made a special, for his payroll on December 8th, we made some changes. And then when we ran payroll on the 22nd, for some reason, Nemrick forgot to essentially turn off the change that they had made to his account. And so we ended up having to do a special payroll on December 23rd to correct Hunter's wages. What we did notice was that all the other employees for Beamer's also had a problem on the 22nd with their so Hunter's was the only person for whom the Beamer's contribution was correct. So essentially the employees the other 5 employees did not make a Beamer's contribution on December 22nd, which screwed up the quarterly report. So the simplest way for the town to solve this was to have the town make a contribution equal to the amount that the employees would have made last year. This way we didn't have to correct payroll amounts and payroll taxes. So we've decided to do it that way, the town is going to make a one-time contribution to Beamer's to make the quarterly report correct. But then over, the plan that we have is to over two payrolls to deduct that amount from the employees in this year to pay the town back for making that contribution. So we're gonna spread it out over 2 payrolls so it's not too drastic on the paycheck, but anyway.
They are gonna know that ahead of time before you take it out of their paycheck.
Yeah, we are gonna tell them that before we do that, yes. So, as far as we can tell, this is a thing that occurred, it's not anything that Jane did, it's something that happened with Nemrick, but now Jane and I know that we need to check when we do the payroll report. There's a payroll report that is generated before it goes to Nemrick, and then there's a payroll report that comes back from Nemrick. And she and I have been reconciling the report that we send to Nemrick, but not the one that comes back. We now know that we need to make sure that both are checked before we go ahead and process the checks to make sure that everybody's contributing as they should be. So kind of I think that this is resolving the issue. It was kind of a headache to figure that out, but. And finally, I did attend the Historical Society meeting here last Wednesday, and I discussed the bridge project with them as well as the brownfields, and I've asked them as well as Greta Brunswick from NRPC to be here at the February 5th select board meeting to talk about the property and how to proceed on both of those projects. I guess that's all I have to report for now.
Did you get the warning all
Yes, I have it here.
signed out?
Well, I have the warning here. I have put in the budget amounts as they are showing here, but if you want to edit that, we can do that and sign. We'd have to sign the warrant at a different time.
So I would have a question in reference to that.
Yes, Rick.
Hunter's comments or concerns or whatever he was talking about, with extensions or whatever, have we made changes that we're gonna go over? You know, if they need tires, if they need whatever, you were talking about, have you cut back on these three columns, that you shouldn't cut back on?
Hunter gave me these figures on Friday, and I have not had time to look in the budget into whether those amounts are included in the amounts that we budgeted so far or not. So no, I have not made the changes to reflect this report. I have made changes in the budget figures to report, to reflect the insurance information that we've received.
Yeah, I just didn't wanna, go to red into some categories if we know ahead of time that we're gonna be over budgeting one of them.
Right.
I don't think we'll be that far off. So, we're pretty good with the budget, the way it's written now, except for maybe this highway part of it.
Yes, I think, we did make some, last meeting, we had made a few, edits, especially to the, fire department budget, and we had cut some, the largest cuts we had made were to the highway fund and to the highway equipment fund and the fuel budget for the highway.
Well, in terms of the fire department, talking about the phone line.
Yes, so those were the, most recent changes we had made, and, Rick, I don't know if you had any comment on those, or, the fire department had requested, I believe, so for the phone system, they had asked it for a little over $5,000, and we had cut that basically to $26.46, which is about half, but last year only $1,700 was used on that.
Right, again, it's just a category that multiple items fit into.
Right.
And obviously, yeah, I mean, it's a budget,
Right.
we'll deal with it the best we can.
Well, I think the sewer department just bought an iPad, and I think it cost about $300, a little bit more than that. So, if the fire department wanted to purchase iPads, it would appear to have pretty close to that amount of budget. If the phone service costs us the same amount as it did last year, you still got about $900, that you could use to buy iPads there. Wouldn't pay for the service necessarily, but,
All right, Don,
Yep.
sounds good.
the other cut we made was to the lawn care. But, I think the insurance rate for the fire department went up a bit more than, some of the insurances went up more than the fire department had asked for. So I made those edits. Right now, according to the budget I have, I see there being about $1,244 increase in the fire department budget, from last year. Which is pretty much level funding.
Right, the
Yeah.
insurance increase is what, insurance, vehicle insurance?
I believe, so I've got, just a second, Rick, I'll look that up, sorry. I think some of the liability insurance, increased, and, I think also the vehicle insurance,
And nothing to do with
workman's comp, I don't believe the town has fire insurance, workman's comp. I'm not,
We're probably working proper.
right, hold on here.
Yeah.
And you don't have to hold up the meeting for that. You can-
Yeah, no, I'm trying to answer your question here, Rick, I'm sorry. I don't seem to have I'm sure I do have a fire department workman's comp, but I don't see it on the invoice that I've got here.
Right,
I think we just, but, the other amounts that I know increased were, I think the firefighter liability went up a little bit, as well as the ambulance attendant liability. We pay both of those for the fire department. And then the vehicle insurance went up. So, looking at, what I've got here compared to last year, looks like the vehicle insurance is going up about $400. And the liability insurance is going up about $350. And the building insurance is actually declining a little bit. One thing, I think, the revenue, sheets that I handed out, I think are incorrect here. So this is the one that, I think this is more accurate, I'm sorry about that. One thing I discussed with, Amanda is how we've been projecting revenue on the budget in the past. We had, if you look at the 2025 budget, last year's budget, we projected $50,000 in delinquent taxes. Amanda kind of questioned whether that was whether it was proper for the town to be, I mean, even though we do typically receive at least that much in delinquent taxes, your delinquent taxes are kind of by definition taxes that that are for last year, not this year. And even if you receive current tax, even if it's, let's say that certain people don't pay their taxes by November 15th, but they do pay them by the end of the year, so they are delinquent, but we've already anticipated them as current taxes. So we can't double count them as delinquent taxes, so that is the reason why, excuse me, we have not projected anything for delinquent taxes. However, I'm realizing right now that I looked at this that I made a mistake in that we could anticipate some delinquent interest in revenue and penalty. I'm not really sure how to guesstimate how much we might receive in those categories.
That's just your best guess.
Yeah,
Just like everything else here.
Do you have an average of like,
Right.
I keep going back to this, but if you have like a 5-year average?
I can look at that. I think last year was kind of abnormal. We received more delinquent tax than we usually do.
In 26.
In 25?
We received more people paid delinquent taxes last year than the year before. In 2025 than did in 2024, I know that.
No, but what year did you receive it in?
Right.
Did you receive 25 taxes in 26?
We have received some, not that many, but,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
If I look back here, sorry.
whatever, it's just a number. Surplus funds, what's that, 26?
So last year, we received the class 2 and 3 roads payment, or sorry, I should go back. In 2024, the state paid out all of the class 2 and 3 roads, all 4 quarters in like one big payment in July or August of 2024. So when we got to the end of last year, they gave us in one lump the last 2 quarters of 2024 and the first 2 quarters of 2025. So when we did our calculation for the taxes and for the budget last year, there was $62,000 in money that was received in 2024 that was carried forward to 2025 and held against counted as, we essentially counted it as surplus funds, so.
Oh, I see.
So Amanda decided to put that into the NEMREC system before Kim was kind of doing that off the balance sheet.
That's okay.
But this year, the state is actually making the payments at each quarter. So we've not received any payments for, 2026 that we're holding over.
I don't,
So,
so that's categories as surplus funds, but it's not surplus, I don't understand.
right, well, I guess you could,
It's not, it's like,
it was money that was received in 2024 that was carried over to 2025 and was used to pay down the tax rate. So it was used the way that you would use a surplus, but I agree with you, it's not the same as,
Money
alright,
intended for the highway, that,
right,
it was money budgeted, but we
so
didn't
the
receive.
highway budget should have looked better than
right, yeah.
it did.
You probably budgeted for it, but didn't receive it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you always budget for you would budget that you're gonna receive the money, but they didn't pay it.
Yeah.
To understand, yeah. And you received half of it, and yeah. That were confusing, but not really.
Anyway, so that's not gonna be the case this year, so the revenue is down because of those, because we're not anticipating delinquent taxes and we're not carrying funds that we received last year forward to the next year. The revenue is down, or our revenue forecast is down, from what it was last year, so. Even though the budget is up, about 1.5%, but the revenue is, less than it was. We're anticipating less revenue, so the amount to be raised by taxes, I believe, is going to increase.
Well,
So this, looking at that budget and what Hunter came in here with, I don't think we're very far off. For fund wise, I mean, we had suggested 126, what he came up with, him, so 129, but he said possibly we're gonna cut back on that stone and sand, so, you know. I don't know.
And then you got this,
$33,000 stone and sand, it wouldn't be hard to cut $3,000 off of it, I think. You know, 'cause he said he used more than last year than he thought he was this year. And then the truck stuff might be a little off, he gets some major repairs, but I don't think the numbers look that bad. I don't see where we need to change them on the budget, or what we came up with.
right,
I think it'll work. Unless you guys think you're way off, but
nope,
looking at them, they don't look too bad. Wastewater exam, does he take that again, or is this the first one he said?
Oh, I'm not sure what you're looking at, Steve.
It says February 19th for,
Oh, that must be for,
The next-
that,
Yeah, the next test
Yeah.
date.
yeah.
Yeah. He's- Try again.
Yeah.
He's pretty close, really, so, I mean,
Yeah, he was close last time.
You missed about a question.
Okay. Look at the warning.
Yeah, did I give it to you there?
Yeah, get it.
So,
The way it's written here, it's, Article 1, the elect the following town officers is required by law, so we got moderator, select board member for 3 years, select board for 2 years, library trustee for 5 years, trustee for 1 year, remaining of a 5-year term, delinquent tax collector for 1 year. Act upon reports of town officers, Article 3, shall the voters authorize the town treasurer to collect current taxes pursuant of, Article 4, shall the voters authorize payment of real and personal property taxes on November 16th, 2026 by physical delivery to the tax collector before 3 p.m. on that day. So that means if it gets lost in the mail or shows up a day after in the mail, that it's like,
right, correct, yeah.
if
We
she
would
doesn't
not,
have it in her hand that day at 3 o'clock, then anything after that's
right,
considered.
we would not be accepting postmarks,
Okay.
yeah, according to that.
Yep. Okay. Shall the town compensate delinquent tax collector with a salary instead of any statutory fees allowed under 32 DSA 1674? So that's how she's paid now for the salary.
I guess if you wanted
The
to,
question would be to leave it
Right.
as a salary or to go back to,
I guess you could say, shall the town continue to pay the, salary instead of, we could change the wording slightly,
but.
but,
Now, under the statutory fees allowed, is that a set percentage or can the town set the
the
percentage?
town can't set the percentage. I think 8% is the maximum for the delinquent penalty. I'm not sure if there's a minimum, but I think 8% is the maximum. The town could set a lower rate of penalty if, yeah.
So this question comes up, shall the town compensate delinquent tax collector with a salary instead of any statutory fees? And they vote that as a no. The town shouldn't compensate delinquent tax with a salary. Then we're allowed to set the rate.
Oh, that's a good question. I think the voters are supposed to set the rate, or I think that may need to be voted on. Right now, the town has, I forget when it was, but I think the voters set it at 8% at some town meeting years ago, and as far as I know, until that is until the voters vote again, it stays that amount.
So if this gets voted down,
Mhm.
then,
If she's paid in fees, she's paid 8% because that's what the fees are
that's
right
what
now.
it's,
Right, so I guess if you want, you
so
could
then
ask.
it would be, have to be the following town meeting, we could ask to change that if we thought appropriate, or just leave it at 8%.
Right,
Okay. Alright. Yeah. Article 6, shall voters authorize total expenditures for general and highway fund operating expenses of $1,840,379, of which $1,560,159 shall be raised by taxes. Straightforward question, isn't it? Then Article 7, shall the town provide notice of the availability of the annual report by postcard mailed to all registered voters at least 30 days before the annual meeting, instead of mailing or otherwise distributing the report to the voters of the town. And there'll be some discussion, and we'll just have to explain what we're thinking, I guess. Yeah. And
Worst
then-
you can end up with is a big pile of town reports down here.
And then Article 8, discuss any other non-binding business. So, does that cover everything? Did we miss anything?
Unless you wanna add some money in there somewhere. Increase our salaries, or whatever, you know.
Oh, that is sorry. Sorry, I hadn't thought about. We did discuss it at one point this year. I think the compensation rate for part-time employees is $18. I think, and I don't know when the last time it was the town increased that. We have on occasion put that on the warning as well.
Yeah, I can remember that being an article.
Yeah, I remember when we increased to 18, there was like 15 before that.
Might have been 10 or
I remember when it was 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's like for the
So,
boards.
who's on that list? It's all the boards, like. the
Yeah, it would
DRB
essentially be
board.
all the boards. I mean, there are a couple of, it's basically all the board members, the librarians, and, I think you have, slight-
Librarians, they set their pay.
or yeah, the library
Library.
trustees set that, yes.
Yeah, that's,
I think they have set it at the same rate, but anyway, but that is their prerogative, you're right.
yeah,
I think that the only people who are compensated more than that are the full-time employee, the people who receive benefits. And then I think the animal control officer, we offer a little bit more than that. But essentially everyone else either gets if they don't get a stipend, like yourselves and, I think Rick gets a stipend for being a health officer. But any of the other hourly employees, that's what they get, other than again, I think.
appointees.
Correct, yeah.
okay.
Currently, so we could put that question on the warning.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time we asked that question, I think it was at least 5 or 6 years ago.
yeah, it's been that long.
Yeah.
At least.
So for Article 5, we budget for the delinquent tax collector salary,
Correct.
which means if they say, no, we don't wanna do that, we wanna go to statutory fees, should we just list the proposed statutory fee here, we let them know like they have to,
Oh, I could put currently at 8%, I could put that in there.
cause then we just have to edit the overall budget if they shoot it down, right? How does that work?
Well, if the voters decide that if the
Right.
voters decide that they don't wanna pay her a salary, and they want her to be paid fees,
Or someone runs
Then-
for tax collector.
that's it.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to budget for that, because the
Right.
fees will be generated as a course of business,
Well,
so,
but-
yeah.
didn't you budget for,
The stipend.
no, we budgeted to pay her,
Right, yeah.
but you also budgeted in your, where's the income on
Usually we do, I
here?
think
Yeah,
I,
right here.
yeah.
Delinquent taxes, or delinquent penalty, that delinquent penalty would pretty much cover that herself.
Right, yeah, so,
So I mean, you've got 13,000 in here, well, I guess we didn't budget for it, but
right,
you've got 13,000 in revenue from delinquent penalty that would essentially.
right, that would just go to her.
That would essentially go away and
Right.
you would,
Right.
you'd have that 5,000 that we budgeted.
But I'm saying if they say
5,000's been
no,
pretty- But that 5,000's been pretty, that's an old number, really.
Yeah,
That could
I
be-
think we
that could
increased
be-
it to 6 in
Yeah,
this
we did.
budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
but I'm saying if they say no in the moment, someone has to make a motion to amend Article 6 for the total amount, because that'll be impacted by it, right?
you could.
Yeah, so if the voters say,
Just think of
we
town
wanna
meeting
pay your
day,
fees,
this-
then technically your budget's $6,000 too high,
Right.
because you won't be doing that anymore. But, I mean,
Technically it is, right. How many
Right.
times do you
Right.
overrun budget?
exactly, right,
You
I'm
know,
not,
or underrun the budget, right? You know,
No, I'm just thinking about
that's
the
6,000
Okay,
to
so
go
the
somewhere.
salary figure is
on
not
town
in
meeting day
there,
when
so-
someone's like, we need to edit
Okay.
Article 6 then, you're like, all right,
Yeah,
we're
but
planning
somebody
for
could
that.
go, you wanna edit that because it's too high.
Also true.
You know, you could take anything on this budget and say, hey, I
Yeah,
think, 24,000 is too much for appraisal assistance, put that down to 5,
Yeah.
and that gets voted on, and then that $6,000 is not gonna affect the
Okay.
1,500,000 that you're voting on.
you could, yeah, cover budget, like 25,000, it's up to us.
One snowstorm will kill that $6,000, the salt, sand, and overtime,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
so,
I do see
Yeah.
one edit I need to make on there, which is I think that this library trustee seat is for 2 years, not 1 year, so I will reprint that.
okay,
And then looking at the delinquent interest and penalty over the last 5 years in terms of what we've actually received. Again, last year we got $10,000 in interest and $14,000 in penalty. The year before that, we got $5,000 in interest and $7,000 in penalty. Before that, $3,000 in interest, $9,000 in penalty. Before that was about $9,000 in both, so. Looks like we'd be safe estimating at least $3,000 in interest and probably
Yeah.
$7,500 in penalty. Something like that. Just going on the baseline of the last few years.
yeah.
So
So-
that's another $10,000 or so. Yeah. Good.
Good to go?
I don't know, you go with us signing this, or do you need to make those changes?
Here, if you give me 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, I can make the changes that I just did with the budget and with the unless you, do you want me to add the article about the
Okay,
wages or for the part-time help, or?
Sure.
Alright, I can do that, and,
I don't know if that's like, can we just do that at a meeting or no? Well, we can do it right there. It used to be done,
yeah.
what do you wanna put the rate in? 20?
I think the way the question used to be asked was to act upon the compensation of town employees other than part-time help, other than full-time help, or
Yeah,
currently at $18 an hour. So that's sort of kind of general question to
right.
the
put it in and then let somebody throw out a number?
Right, I guess, I don't know, unless you wanna suggest your own number.
I would.
I think that's
You don't want to
usually,
suggest a number?
You put it in there, it's 18 now, you're gonna increase it to 20, you know. Get people to drive down here and spend it, you know, do this and do that, it's,
alright, so do you want me to put 20, or do you want me to
Yeah.
ask you to open-ended, put 20, alright. Okay, alright, I can,
Yeah, I think it's best to leave questions on the warning as yes or no, essentially. From what I.
yeah, that is the way they'd rather you do it.
They would
now.
rather have it be
Yeah.
yes or no, but as clear as possible to
It used to
voters.
be much bigger.
Yes,
Right, okay.
but that was the most recent advice,
what's your
suggestions.
pleasure? Don't do that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It is in the best interest of the select board for it to
Well,
be
you
as
know.
simple as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Here,
That, purchasing policy, procurement policy,
Yep.
is that, did you get a finalized copy?
I do, the purchasing policy, the only, on that, the only, comment I've received on that is that Raymond thought that we should increase the amount that department heads are able to spend without talking to the select board. I think we set it at, I can't remember how much I have to, I don't have the copy right in front of me,
It was
but
5,000.
I think it was 5,000 and he thought. Now, I think it's partly because he used to run a much bigger fire department, but he is correct that sometimes there are invoices that are more than that, or that can be more than that very quickly, but.
Yeah.
That's,
Probably blew that apart
Yeah, but wasn't it,
with plow parts.
wasn't it written that, if it's a budgeted
expense, yes,
expense, it doesn't need prior approval, right?
right, I think that's correct.
That would be right. If you budgeted for it, it's like,
Right. You shouldn't need,
and the budget's approved,
right,
then
it's in your budget to spend that amount of money
it's your marching order.
for that purpose, but if something odd
Something
comes up.
comes up that wasn't budgeted for, yes.
Yeah,
Alright, the way that it is, currently, I think we had for procurement agents would be, able to, employees designated as procurement agents may make purchases up to $5,000 without prior approval, provided those purchases remain within the scope and limits of the approved municipal budget.
Oh.
And then employees who have been designated to act as procurement agents make purchases with a value between $5,000 and $10,000 only with prior approval of the select board and are limited to the amount of the budget authorized by the town. Although not required, competitive quotes from at least 2 vendors should be obtained whenever possible and documented.
Did Raymond throw out a number?
I think he said, I forget if he said 7,500 or, I think that's more of the number he was looking at, he was thinking of.
well, let's not get sidetracked.
Yeah,
Get
that's
this
fine.
warning
Yeah,
until
we
we get
can-
it signed and the budget
Yeah.
numbers, I think we can approve those.
Yeah, alright, I'll be right back.
Do you wanna table the procurement personnel policy another meeting or no?
I think so, it's already after 10.
Pretty late, that's fine.
I'll make a motion to table the procurement and personnel policies till next meeting.
Alright,
I'll second that.
that, all in favor?
Yeah.
Alright. We'll get this warning signed. Everybody's good with the budget the way it is.
Well, if you don't have enough money, you can always borrow some, see?
I think we're there.
Or something like that.
Do a bake sale, it'll be fine.
No, it's a budget and it's not, you know.
Your best guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it seems very unknown. It's not something we can predict what something will cost.
Right.
Especially when we know the cost is going up, so we can We can
It's a
estimate,
pretty-
okay, it's gonna be more, but
It's a pretty predictable thing. You're gonna burn this much fuel. The only thing is like if fuel goes up,
right,
but you don't know that, but you base your
you assume it's
budget,
gonna
you
be
base your
more.
numbers on, how much you just never know how much it's gonna snow.
Yep.
Or, like this past December, that's probably haven't spent that much money on road maintenance in December in a while. We had a lot of, early winter and onset, a lot of sand piles are depleted quite a bit because of the early onset of winter. But then we might go into February, might have a dry spell, might not plow any snow for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I saw other places that were like rationing salt.
I see that.
Yeah.
Cause they're spreading salt all the way down into Texas. And ice down there,
Yeah.
places they don't normally use.
Well, we got snow covered roads right now. Maybe people are used to snow now.
Yeah. Well, here, but the weather they'd be getting all across the country. Right?
Yeah, they just
Right.
shut down in other places. I don't
Yeah.
Wow.
But our
No, this
Our town's-
snowfall was.
our town, we're
The roads were already cold, and so the
Yeah.
stuff didn't. The snow was light and fluffy, so it didn't stick to the road. So
but you got snow like it's on the roads right now. It's not really slippery,
no, that's what I mean.
and it's snow, and so you drive accordingly.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
Oh, some people gotta break donuts at Chima Bay.
So we can't.
But I think one thing we gotta think about here, not now, but after we're through the budget stuff, is this truck replacement there. If it's 2-3 years out, I think we need to start
Yeah, I
thinking.
mean, that's over 2
Starting to
years, it's
think what
26
we're
months.
I don't understand why they. That's kind of strange how they can't equip a truck any quicker than that.
Yeah,
It never used to be like that.
no, it used to be you ordered the truck, get it, if you get it in the spring, you'd have it ready for the plowing season that
Yeah,
fall.
right.
It's not.
I don't think-
2-year ordeal, but.
I mean,
But anyways, if it is, that's what it is, but I think we need to start thinking of what our move's gonna be for 2 years out.
yeah, getting on the wait list, I guess.
They didn't used to do a wait list, they'd take the trucks in order of when you brought them
You had to
down.
have the truck,
So
right?
you buy a truck, like we bought a truck at Clark's, the boys went down there, picked it up, drove it down to, what's the place in Barry there, Tenco. Brought it down there and they park it in line, they have a parking lot, they just park in the line, they take one after another, doesn't matter if it's a state truck or a town,
Yeah,
didn't
just-
matter, but you just
Common order of,
work down the line, so the quicker you can get it parked there, the more apt you're gonna get it done, but
is it the same
that wasn't
for buying the truck? Cause that's
it
getting
doesn't
outfitted,
sound
right?
like it, it sounds like you can get a truck, within a year. I guess we'll have to look into it more, but that's something we're gonna have to explore, I guess.
Do you guys remember what the 2015 replaced?
Yeah,
What year was
that
that?
low pro, what was that thing?
Yeah,
I
it was
don't know
a,
what year it was, but
low pro international. It's kind of a halfway between that. It's a single axle, but it's like halfway between like a 450 or.
had the smaller cab, so it sat, more like a 350, 450, but it was a little bit bigger. It was,
Yeah.
That was supposed to be handy for, didn't have good brakes. Didn't have enough power.
Why would be?
changes.
But anyways, yeah, that's what that is.
This is the third revenue. This is the change in revenue. I added $11,000.
That money, or yeah, the low pro was, well, let's try that, see how that works, you know. At the time, we didn't have a pickup with a plow on it. There was just 3 trucks and Hubert drove his pickup around and did whatever at the time. And when we replaced it, we just got a regular single axle truck because it was about the same money. And it cost a lot more truck. You know.
Alright, so this warrant is the same as what I read you, except for E, library trustee for 2 years remaining of a 5-year term. And then we have Article 6, shall the town compensate part-time help at a rate of $20 per hour? And then in parentheses, it says currently 18 per hour. Alright.
Looks like he added the 8% fee too to the.
Oh yeah, sorry, I included a little comment about what the current penalty fee is for.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Article 5, shall the town continue to compensate the delinquent tax collector with a salary instead of any statutory fees allowed under 32 VSA 1674? It says currently an 8% fee is charged on delinquent taxes. Alright. Well, I'll take a motion to accept this warning.
Make a motion.
A second on
I'll second that.
that. All in favor?
Yep.
So we'll just sign it up, I guess.
You may.
Rick, you wanna send us an e-signature?
With that,
You wanna send us an electronic signature? Or you wanna stop in at the office before, when's the book going out?
Friday, or, yeah.
If you can stop before Friday and sign that.
sure, I can do that.
Alright, so I think that's it.
Yes.
We made a motion to table that
Yeah, that's
policy and personnel policy. So I guess all I need is a motion to adjourn for the evening.
I make that motion.
Alright, second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Alright,
Thank you.
we are done for this evening.